Hi everyone, welcome to the lesson for today. We're talking about safety again. This is Safety Part 2. So please log on to your Google Classroom, find the assignment Safety Part 2. Today we are talking about hazards. Now you should remember that a hazard is a danger in the workplace. We learned that in a previous lesson. And the important message with hazards is please don't ignore them. Either fix it if you can or report it, because we want you safe. When we send you to work through the work program, we want to make sure that you know what to do and use your brain so that you do not get hurt. All right, today we're talking about hazards. And let's begin. A job hazard is anything at work that can hurt you either physically or mentally. So it can hurt your body, it can hurt your mind. Sometimes we don't think about those mental hazards that exist at work. Some are obvious and easily seen, but others are not. Some hazards can hurt you now, while others may cause health problems in the future. So our first item for note-taking is safety hazards. Safety hazards can cause immediate injuries. So if you touch it, it will hurt you. That would include knives, hot grease, a hot pipe, anything sharp, anything that could cause a cut or a burn. So let's take those notes. Safety hazards can cause immediate injury. And the examples were hot grease or knives. So that tells you to be careful around hot grease or knives. Next, a chemical hazard. Chemical hazards you might not even be able to see. Chemical hazards are gases, vapors, liquids, or dust that can harm your body. Gases, liquids, vapors, or dust that can harm your body. The examples it gives is cleaning products. A lot of the cleaning products we use are actually hazardous. You don't want to breathe them in deeply. You don't want them on your skin. Also, it gave the example of pesticides. What's a pesticide? It kills bugs. So if you're working outdoors, you might be using pesticides which are hazardous. Next up, we have a biological hazard. Biological hazards are living things that can cause sickness or disease such as HIV, AIDS, hepatitis, tuberculosis, the coronavirus. So we are actually doing e-learning right now because of a biological hazard. So it's bacteria or viruses. And that can be a danger at work. By the way, I'm glad you're all staying home and staying safe. Let's take the notes. Biological hazards. Living things that can cause sickness, such as viruses or bacteria. Just a reminder, if it's ever going too fast, you can pause the video to take your notes. When it comes to viruses and bacteria, you guys are probably hearing a lot about preventing hazards at this time. Washing our hands with soap, hand sanitizer, covering your cough, and especially staying home if you're sick can all prevent biological hazards. Now there's a whole nother category of other hazards, and it's kind of a random collection. Other hazards are any other harmful things that can injure you or make you sick. So noise can hurt your ears. Radiation would be cancer causing. Not good. Repetitive movements, if you're folding the same towels over and over and over, that can cause injuries over time. Heat, cold, speak for themselves. Stress. If you're stressed out all the time at work, that wears on your body. We don't think of that as a hazard, but finding a way to manage stress is very important. Harassment. An angry customer could be a hazard. You need to ask your manager for help. So for the notes, we're just going to pull out a few examples. Noise, heat, cold, stress, harassment. Other things you need to think about to keep yourself safe. All right, before we go on with notes, this slide gives you some helpful information on lots of different hazards you could look out for. All right, under safety hazards, which are probably the most common you're going to see at your workplace, hot surfaces of any kind, slippery floors, ladders. You have to be very careful using a ladder, using any kind of machinery that takes you up high. Machines, sharp knives, hot grease, like we've said. This one's huge. Unsafe electrical circuits. First of all, you never want any water around electricity in any way. So if something is plugged in, it should not be near the sink. We don't want anyone getting electrocuted. If you see wires that look unsafe, do not touch them. Report them. Always know where the fire exit is at your work. Be careful of motor vehicles. Cluttered work areas can be dangerous, so keep them organized. Falling objects could apply in some workplaces. Violence. Try to get along with your coworkers. If you have an angry customer, get help, because other people can actually hurt you at work, and we want you peaceful and happy. Areas that are too dark or too light can be dangerous, so try to work in a well-lit situation. Chemical hazards we've talked about. Cleaning products are the most common, but also look, gasoline, that might apply. That's common at your workplace. So just be careful that you're not breathing in chemicals all day. Biological hazards would be a sickness. Wash your hands. Stay home if you're sick. And finally, under other health hazards, we've talked about noise, heat and cold, stress and harassment. But how about this one, heavy lifting? If you have to lift heavy objects at work, make sure you're not bending over at the waist to pick items up. Bend your knees and squat down and use your leg strength, not your back strength, to lift items. Because it's really easy to hurt your back, even when you're young, and that can cause problems for the rest of your life. So that was just some helpful information for your knowledge. Let's finish off our notes. Hazards are common, people. Like we've said, household cleaning products can contain hazardous substances. So let's take notes on that. Household cleaning products can be dangerous. So what do? We use personal protective equipment. These gloves right here are personal protective equipment to protect against household cleaning products. Personal protective equipment is anything you use to protect yourself when you're working with hazardous materials. So, personal protective equipment might be gloves, might be a helmet. It might be a non-slip shoes. It might be anything to protect your body. Another one you're going to see a lot might be steel-toed boots. So it's very important that you use any personal protective equipment available to you. Ooh, another common one. Safety goggles. Noise-canceling headphones. Go ahead and list a few of these out. You can choose. Very important to use it if it's available at work. All right, so I'd like you guys to go ahead and complete the true or false section here, and then submit through Google Classroom. Thank you and good luck.